emblem combination.
Still swords run deep.
Berserker's Fury is Ling's core piece of equipment. Ling's high crit chance allows him to consistently benefit from the equipment's crit damage bonus. Build Blade of Despair in the late game to further increase his damage against squishy heroes. Upgrade Ling's second skill at level 1. Then prioritize upgrading his second skill since it's his main damage-dealing tool. Using Ling's second skill from the wall can deal damage to enemies in the area and slow them down, making it easier for his ultimate to hit. Touching the Tempest Blades created by his ultimate resets the cooldown for his second skill. Dashing to the blades with his second skill will allow him to deal heavy damage continuously to nearby enemies. Ling works best with support heroes with CC abilities that make Ling more flexible in different situations, such as Angela and Kufra. In the laning phase, Ling should use his first skill to leap onto the wall and strike down with his second skill to deal damage to the target enemy and slow them. Follow up with Ling's basic attacks and his second skill to chase down the enemy hero. In teamfights, Ling should move onto the wall with his first skill, then use his second skill to land on enemy back row heroes. Once landed, Ling should attack the target heroes with his basic attacks, and then cast his ultimate to avoid any incoming damage. He should then follow his targets when in the air to deal damage and knock them airborne. He can then dash with his second skill between the Tempest Blades to reset its cooldown and restore lightness points. Passive, Cloudwalker. Ling's superb lightness skill allows him to leap among walls to strike the enemy from there. Ling gains extra lightness points per second when he's on a wall, and each time he deals damage to the enemy. Ling's mastery of lightness skill allows him to get extra crit chance from all sources, but limits his crit damage. First skill, Finch Poise. Ling casts his lightless skill to leap onto the target wall. He enters a half-stealth state on the wall and restores lightness points more quickly while gaining extra movement speed. Ling will leave the half-stealth state after taking any damage, and will fall onto the ground and be slowed if he is controlled. Using the skill to move to another wall will not cause the skill to enter cooldown and will refresh the half-stealth state. Upgrading the skill will permanently increase Ling's crit chance. Second skill, Defiant Sword. Ling charges in the target direction and stabs nearby enemies, dealing physical damage to them. If Ling casts the skill on a wall, he will dash to the target location on the ground, dealing physical damage to enemies in the area and slowing them. Causing crit damage will apply an extra slow effect on the enemy's hit. The damage caused by Defiant Sword is considered basic attack damage, which restores HP for Ling each time it hits an enemy. Ultimate, Tempest of Blades. Ling leaps in the air, becoming invincible and gaining extra movement speed. He ignores terrain when in the air and then lands on the ground after a short delay. Enemies in the landing area will take physical damage, and those located in the center are knocked airborne. Ling then creates a sword field around him, with 4 Tempest of Blades appearing on the edge of the field. Touching the blades reduces the cooldown of his first skill, and resets his second skill while restoring lightness points. We recommend the Retribution battle spell for Ling, as Ling's high burst damage and mobility make him a perfect jungler. Ling should focus on farming in the early game and only start ganking after unlocking his ultimate at level 4. In mid to late game teamfights, Ling should move onto the walls first to look for opportunities to take out key enemy heroes, and use his ultimate to finish off the remaining low HP heroes.